Hello and welcome back to another rendition of Fan Factory Friday, where we spotlight one of our Satisfactory community factory builds. Now today we're with Tycoon, who's taken a slightly more unorthodox approach to item transportation. In fact, the best way to think of this factory is as a brain neuron in a central cortex. As the items are acquired, they span outwards and then are pulled into the required buildings, and though it does look like spaghetti fever, it is able to produce items en masse. Now I should also mention that though the center of the cortex has conveyors spreading everywhere, he has constructed a beautiful bus the other side of his base, which brings raw materials from the outer points of the map to his hub, something that I would have loved to see him do in the center of his base. It also collects electricity from the geothermal power plants, which complements his collection of coal generators with a layout which, I don't know why, looks very familiar for some reason. He's also stacked these power plants 2 times above the ground level, which saves space hugely. However, I would love to see this building encased and surrounded by walls like the others, because it does seem a little out of place. But the biggest provider of energy that he has is actually, by far, the 6 nuclear power plants, boosting his electricity supply by 15,000 megawatts. So we have 4 in one location, the first original one, as well as one that I've managed to find at the bottom of this crevice next to another geothermal power plant. The only issue I have found with this is the 2 original ones are actually producing a fair amount of waste, which could do with being exported to another location. It's also really important to note that without the 4 extra nuclear power plants which are connected by rail, he would not be able to run this factory. He is consuming a huge amount of energy. Now if we look briefly at the item production, each outbuilding has a separate item tree, whether it's aluminium or aluminum, steel, heavy modular frames, or even motors. And what's nice about the way that he makes these is that each unique item that's created along the way is siphoned off into 2 sections, one for the later tiered item and also along the bus for storage. And despite the system looking rather messy and without signs, slightly more difficult to find items, it is, however, an entirely functional system, and it's nice to see what other people bring to the table. That being said, my favourite part has to be the railway system, which is central to his operations. Without it, he cannot transport the required electricity to run this factory. It's also going to be a key influencer in his logistics to stations that he's constructed along a Skyrail, going to each biome. And just to note, he does reassure me that he will be adding supports to this Skyrail, so it's not entirely unbelievable. Now the Skyrail allows both quick and easy access to all parts of the map along a single large loop. Now eventually it would be nice to see each station also connect to the central hub to increase speed to the individual areas, but this is a great way in which for now we can see the map. And thanks to his strategically positioned radio towers, he's able to uncover 90% of the fog on the map. Now one last point to make about his rail system is his use of a central station with 10 freight depots for serious item transportation, as well as a hangar next door for a secondary freight train and a personal train for quick travel and holding construction resources for on the road. I also like how he's labelled each train station according to the biome, and that's just going to make everything so much more easier to organize. So there we are. That was a very quick look at Tycoon's factory, and to say it's impressive would be an understatement. So guys, if you did like his factory, be sure to drop a thumbs up and show support. And if you want to see more Satisfactory videos, make sure you do click the subscribe button. Also, one last note, if you want your factory to be spotlighted, be sure to join our Discord community and send me a message on there. Anyway guys, until next time, thank you so much for watching. Ciao for now.